I invested $1,700 and I managed to make $42,000 off the Bored Ape Solana project earlier this year. Austin saw the value, walked in, and bought the project from the developers, took on the code, took on the responsibility, and built that project back up from the dirt after those developers left. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for none other than Austin Collins! What up, baby? You're looking good in that polo.
Appreciate it, boss. Appreciate it, man.
Come on.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing, man?
That's good. You guys still awake? Anybody here crashing off the coffee yet? We're good? All right, let's keep the show going. So, Austin joined the Chart Addicts team not too long ago. I was extremely honored to have him on the team because, let's be completely honest, he's a little bit overqualified. He introduced me to the Solana NFT space, and if you guys have ever tried to buy NFTs on Ethereum, for example, you realize how expensive it is. There's the price of the NFT, which is already expensive, and there's the fees involved with trading Ethereum NFTs, called gas fees, which are extremely inefficient, and they're very expensive. He introduced me to a new chain called Solana, which is a much cheaper version of Ethereum and a much faster, and it's much more friendly for developers. Since then, I've become very invested in that space, and it's done wonders for my life. Because unlike trading, where you have to put in time and focus, with these NFTs, I buy them, and then I'll check back 3 weeks later. I get a call from someone on the Chart Addicts team, check the floor price of this NFT, check the floor price, and I've done no work. And so what it's done for my life has been incredible, and I'm really, really honored to have you on stage so you can share that with these folks too.
Appreciate it, boss. Appreciate it, man. Look, it's been absolutely amazing just being here. I've spoken to a lot of you guys individually over the week. This is, basically my first time being on stage at all, so it's kind of interesting just, man. Appreciate it. So I'm hoping to share value today, So the first question that I have is, how many people were able to buy Bitcoin at 10K? Anybody here? A couple people. How many people were able to buy Ethereum when it hit 1K? All right, so you see how many people were kind of half and half in that, right? Now, how many people have bought Ethereum when it was at the top at 2,500? How many people bought Bitcoin when it was at 50K? All right, so there's moments in the market where Bitcoin, right, is the leader and Ethereum comes up as the secondary. Same thing that happens in the NFT world. Everybody focused on Ethereum, right? That's where all the big boys were. Solana's for the people like me, right? So I came up from nothing, so I'm still on my come up, right? I was not able to afford the gas fees on Ethereum, so I found a secondary marketplace, which ended up being Solana. The transaction fees are less than a penny on there versus the Bored Ape, basically OpenSea's marketplace that Bryson was talking about, just launched a land project that the gas fees alone totaled up to over $300 million. That's just down the toilet. Nothing happened, like just gas fees for using the space. In Solana, it's a penny, and you can transfer things here and there, and I also appreciate people talking about the wallets that they're creating, because that's something that if you're not in the space, you don't recognize. You're just literally giving tax away, and you're cutting into your profit. So even when we're Forex traders and we talk about, basically the percentages that our brokers take, like the same thing happens when I look at Ethereum NFTs, like they're taking your funds, bro. So for me, Solana has basically more for the community and the people vibe. It's for the people that are still trying to make it that only have $100, only have $200. You can't mint out, a $1,000 project. So I also recognize that there's a lot of people like me in this space, and I would say, people in the VIP section, like you guys are basically on the come up. You guys have, kind of made it. People in the back half of the room, I speak directly to y'all because I'm basically in that middle ground, right? I'm in that come up.
Shout out to you guys.
And that's just reality, right? So a lot of people, for my space, I'm a Forex trader. I've been trading for 4 years, and what I've been able to do is basically extract liquidity from the market and put it into assets, right? So I ended up putting it into NFTs and being able to make $100 profit and then flip it into $1,000 through an NFT. And that is life-changing for a lot of people, and especially in the NFT space. Like, we as Americans don't think $100 may be a lot. Like, I've got people in other countries that's like a month's income. And then imagine like being able to take that month's income and then making your year's income in about 24 hours. That's what's happening all around the world, and that's what's going to continue to happen. So it's just like the cycle of where funds are going. And for those of you that also don't know me, like I'm an energy healer. So my biggest thing is like I get a pulse on the market, and I'm really like connecting to where the energy and the emotions are going. That's what we are. Like, we're vibrational beings that we literally are all connected in this room. Like, you guys are all zoomed in on me right now, right? But like, we're all literally all connected. And inside these communities and inside of these ecosystems, you're getting a pulse on how the communities and how these mini businesses are starting to be built. So like think about if you wanted to open up a business, you would have to basically hire a web developer, you would have to hire a coder, you would have to hire all of these people. Inside of an NFT project, people are investing in the community and in the project. Like who's had a website designed for free? I have. I've had developers on blockchains work for free because they're investing in their own bags. So it's the easiest way to crowdsource and crowdfund for somebody investing in you or into basically the business model that you're creating. So NFT projects right now, like a lot of cannabis companies and CBD companies are being created, and they're basically minting out a project in a collection, and then anybody who owns that NFT is getting cannabis discounts or free, CBD sent out to them. And that you're going to start to see that more and more as these big basically corporations come into this space. They're going to mint out these collections just for ways to create liquidity and being able to do something with it.
Let me take this back to a question that I'm sure Let me take this back to a question I'm sure everybody has. How can I also become a millionaire off of trading monkey pictures, Austin?
Yeah, so.
Because that's what I wonder whenever I talk to you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, there's no easy cut way about it. Like, you have to literally be able to understand what gets people excited every day, and like being inside of these communities, like you can see where the emotions are going and how excited people get about stuff. And each community has like white papers. They have kind of their background information, but you have to go through the experience. So just like trading, even in the NFT space, I lost 100K just basically minting out projects and not necessarily knowing what was going on. And then over probably the last, 2 months, I've built out now over $500,000, close to $1 million. Well, it was $1 million, and then we hit the crash, so now it's back at $500,000. But that's how basically you just do. And for me, like I said, the projects that you're basically finding, there's got to be value inside of it that makes people want to be there. So for me, like the project that I have all of these wealthy individuals as well as people that know about the space and have experience in the space. And for people that are just getting started, like that's valuable itself. Like if you don't know what a mint is, like we have people that are there to educate you. If you don't know what necessarily, some of these languages and terms that are in the industry, like you don't understand how to bridge the gap with your learning curve, like you're detached from it. Like, even when, like I said, I still think I'm supposed to be sitting in the back of the room, but I'm on the stage, right? And that's how a lot of people are with their investing. That's how a lot of people are with their trading. Like they don't know what bridges the gap. And these communities and ecosystems are where it's being built. So whenever you ask like, what is the secret sauce? Like it's just getting a pulse on the project and where it's going and who's behind it.
Yep. I mean, you spend an incredible amount of time not just researching a project, but actually going in and talking to the development team, right. Looking into the community and seeing if it has a genuine interaction or genuine like, is it busy or not? So what are some characteristics that you look for when you're vetting these projects that other individuals can learn from and they can use to vet their own projects?
Yeah, so there's basically, like I said, when I talk about emotions, there's people that ride off of hype, right? So if all eyes and focus are in one place, usually that's not the place that you need to be. But in NFTs, like a lot of the hype will build this up and you'll see the pump and dumps. So that's basically liquidity being put into a project, people basically then taking out their profits and then it crashes. And this is a repeated cycle that happens all the time. So there's ways to make money in that, and there's a lot of people that, I do it myself. Like I will ride the hype trains, but I also know there's no value behind it. So whenever you're looking at a project that goes from, hey, I'm investing $200 to it turning to $20,000, the difference is who's behind it. Like the NFT project is about who is leading it, who's orchestrating it, who are you investing into, and that's where the difference actually comes from. So if you buy my project, you're investing in me, plus all of my community, all of the connections that I have. And to be honest, everybody should have their own NFT collection because you're gonna have people that you touch in your life that you're gonna want to just be a part of you in some way and have a direct access to you. So as everybody's been talking, about basically where do you get your funds from? Where do you basically, with let's say a subscription base, okay? So even if you're a ChartX member right now, we're gonna change this. We've already been talking about an NFT, but any subscription basis, you pay your money and you don't ever get it back. On an NFT, you're gonna start paying subscriptions by buying the NFT, which just like Chart Addicts, and then you can sell it whenever you're done. And that is life-changing. Like imagine if your YouTube subscription, your Netflix subscription, you were able to actually sell versus just being able to pay and pay and pay month over month over month. So there's things like that that will start to get incorporated in real life utility. And that's why, people talk about what is the actual use case of the monkey pictures, right? So like that's a Web3 profile picture, sure, but like who's inside the community and what value they're providing, like that's just experience and learning, what does actually value mean? What does that actually look like?
Don't be shy, don't be shy. We've been talking a lot about that special word that you guys need to make sure you have in your notes called utility. Can you explain to folks what the difference is between a project that has utility and a project that doesn't? And what are the benefits of having that utility in a project?
Yeah, utility can be anything. So like even in the Bored Apes, like we have pictures of apes with pizza hanging out of their mouth, and we actually give a raffle to 10 people who own those types of apes, and we send them a pizza every Monday. And they actually get to take pictures with their wife, and like it's a real life utility that makes their JPEG worth something.
So they own this monkey picture that has a picture of the pizza in their mouth, and if you own one of these monkey pictures with the pizza in their mouth, you get free pizza on Mondays, and you will send it to them.
Yeah, we literally transfer them SOL, and then they basically just send a picture and post it on Twitter, and it's like organic marketing. It's a way for like people to say like this got me this, and that's like. Whenever we're trading and whenever we're buying NFTs, like if we don't extract the money and hold money, like we didn't actually make money. Like it's just numbers on the phone until we extract it and do something with it. So like all the Lamborghinis and cars, right? Like until that actually gets extracted and bought, like it's still just numbers on the phone. So the same thing, like Tank Tuesday we have on Tuesday, if you have a cowboy hat, like we pay for your gas. And like that in itself like impacts so many people. And imagine around the world, like a tank of gas is like a lot of money for some people. So it's just trying to meet people where they're at, recognizing your community and who is involved in your community and how you want to pay back to them. So that's an in real life utility. There's also passive staking. So there's real investors that will dump millions into a project and don't have time to like micromanage, the gas isn't relevant, all that stuff. You can then basically stake your NFTs, make a passive income play on whatever the utility token is. There's so many tokens out there that realistically 99% of NFTs will not be relevant here in, I don't know, probably a couple months, to be honest. Like,
Could you repeat that one more time?
99% of NFTs will not be relevant in a couple months. So, and with that being said, because nothing is being behind those projects, nobody is behind those projects. So like I'm gonna be here, I'm 26 years old, like for the next 20 years, I'm still going to be owning the Bored Ape Solana Club. So imagine the next 20 years who I'm still going to be coming in contact with, and that's going to come into this ecosystem and invest in me, right? So like that's just how I see it, right? And all of these other projects, people are looking at it from a financial perspective of like, I just want to make money. Like for me, I just want to meet people that actually have value and impact and like change people's lives. And that's why I think a lot of people came here is like, we all trade behind a desk and a computer screen, and even when we do Zoom webinars with thousands of people, until we see those people in person and shake their hands and like change their life in a real Web 2 way, like Web 3, we hide behind the picture of the monkey, but guys, we're human, we're people, right? So like we need to see each other, we need to interact and feel that emotion. So that's what I'm passionate about, and I'm excited to like meet those people and have a central hub location where we're all working for our own bag. And like that's a hard process to think about. Like in a business, you have employees. Like in an NFT, like I have a bunch of entrepreneurs that want to work and make it worth more.
If I'm sitting in the 10th row right now and I have my iPad in front of me, looking to take some notes, and I'm wearing a red hat, what are some things that I should be looking for in these projects in order to gauge whether it's a good investment or not?
So Twitter accounts, you want to determine what their engagements are, if they're botted. Like Twitter's become really messy, like there's bots everywhere. So you have to determine what organic is. Like organic growth, think about our food system, right? So we know that there's processed food, so that means that there's also processed NFTs that are just being basically created at a rate of just growing, creating liquidity, and there's no value behind it. The organic stuff is what you actually want to find as an investment because it's going to be a natural flow process of growth, and it'll create actually an emotional cycle, just like trading does, but you'll see it in the NFT growth of the project too. But they gotta have a decent Twitter with good engagement. The Discord also has to be set up pretty clean with good security, so you have to just understand what the foundation is there. Usually projects will release a white paper, so it's kind of like I'm a CEO of a integrated functional nutrition, basically online e-commerce business. So I focus Amazon and Spotify kind of storefronts. We're gonna do like 6 million this year, and that's like my main stream of income. But outside of that, like I'm a CEO in that business, so when I look at my NFT, I'm also the CEO of the basically community, and I've got all of these team members. So whenever I go into a project, I also am like, yo, who's the CEO? Like I gotta talk to him directly before I put my money in there. And you make that internal connection. And for all of you, like you've seen Roy. So you were invested in Roy and you also came here because you've seen him on a YouTube channel, you've seen him on a stream, he sent you a signal, like he shook your hand. So that's the investment that they're putting in you. The same thing whenever you're looking at a project, like you just have to know who and what you're investing into. And that is your research. Like as people, we organically feel who we resonate with and who we don't. Like what's a good investment and what's not. So my research is talking to the person that's behind it because I will bet on that person versus the picture. Like I don't care what the artwork is. The artwork's not relevant. It's the person who stands behind it.
That's very important. Very, very important. Aside from just looking at the development team or the core team behind that project, are there any similarities that you've seen between the successful projects that you could share?
Yeah, so successful projects, in this space, it's changing so much. So that's the also thing of like, I've focused down in this because of how rapidly it's changing. Like, you guys think cryptos are fast? Like, NFTs are crazy, man. NFTs are literally every day somebody's in your chat saying, what's next? Like, what's the next hype? Like, when are we going to the moon? Like, and it's a instant gratification that this world has grown into and like needing that instant validation process. And whenever you build a foundation, like you'll see nobody worried about the floor price. Nobody will ask like, yo, when is the moon happening, right? So when you go into these other projects and you see people like talking about the floor price and what the value of the NFT is, like they're just worried about money. They're not worried about what they're doing for the world and what they're doing with their NFT. So, you know, whenever you also, like what's the first thing that attracts you when you buy an NFT? Like if you were on Magic Eden or OpenSeas, like it's probably the artwork, right?
At first, well, honestly, it's because you told me to get it.
But for most people, you go onto OpenSeas or you go to Magic Eden, you have no clue what to buy. Like there's hundreds of pictures on there. So it's the research whenever you go behind it that actually matters. And like I said, a lot of these, there was a project OK Bears that launched probably 2-3 weeks ago. And I basically told people about it, and you minted it for $400, and there was a sale the other day for $300,000.
$400 to $300,000.
And think about
for buying a picture online.
It changes people's life, and all of you guys are talking about that, going, "Yo, is that real?" Like, yes, it's fucking real. I told a bunch of people about it, and it's just.
Now, Austin, I did want to touch on that concept because this is something that Austin gave to me. It's a gift that Austin gave to me that has really significantly changed my trading life because I used to really want to go for home runs all the time. Then I started to realize that if I just took out the profits that I made that day and then reinvested them into an NFT project, I can get the same result, the same end result. Like he was talking about, you can make $100 in the day for trading, reinvest it, and then flip it to $1,000 in the NFTs. You don't actually have to make that $1,000 a day just in trading. You can use that and be able to, use the other stream. Can you walk through that process and how you think about that and kind of how you go about that?
So I scalp US30 on the 30-second and the 1-minute time frame. I heard some people saying that they hate US30, but I did who was here in my session yesterday?
Yeah. You got 2 hands up, man.
Yeah, I had people sending me charts yesterday that they were scalping Bitcoin shorts and Solana longs on like literally a couple pips of a risk. And who was that? Where are you guys at? Yeah,
there he is.
That's what I'm saying.
You made money?
People. But I say that because I've been trading for 4 years, but it wasn't real to me, right? So I always was like, what am I saving? Am I saving for the Lamborghini? Am I saving for the home? I'm like, bro, that's a long ways away, right? So it's like so far intangible. So I was like, I need to make something tangible. Like if I'm trading every day, how do I make it real? So then instantly when NFTs started coming, I was like, I'm okay making $100 a day. I'm okay making $200 a day. Like, for those of you that don't know me, I also live in a shuttle bus, and my wife and I travel around the U.S., so we completely live off grid. So I'm not in any
he'll be doing a Zoom call about making $50K on a project, and he's in the middle of the Utah desert or something, or on a beach in Texas. It's an incredible lifestyle.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't need much. I live a very minimalistic lifestyle. So for me, it was like $100 is like groceries for the week, right? It's like my gas for the week. That's my rent. So it was then just like, okay, if I, some of y'all in the high rises in the rent district, like, bro, man, y'all got good views, but I guarantee you, go look at my Instagram. I got better views than y'all. But yeah, it's still the same thing though. Like I wanted to make it tangible. So $100, $200 was something that instantly I was like, I can go mint NFTs, and those were launching every day. I know 99% of those NFTs in a year aren't going to be worth anything, but people in this space are organically trying to find something. They're desperate to see like, yo, what is next? Like, what's going to get me out of the dip? What's going to help me fight what's going on right now? And it's unfortunate that a lot of people in this space are getting taken advantage of. So like you referenced, I derugged the community, but then it just was people had
derugging means saving a project. So when a project, we all invest in a project and then they disappear with the money and they don't give you anything in return, that's referred to as a rug pull. Derugging a project means going back into that community and fixing it after it's been pulled and trying to get everybody's kind of confidence back in that project. Yeah. Just for some of the folks here.
Yeah, and basically $1 million was stolen from the project. So I had 2,000 community members who just lost basically a net worth of $1 million altogether. And like these were people that were putting their bottom dollar into it. So just being able to get a pulse on the feel of who was in the room, how it impacted people and who it affected, like it just inspired me to kind of work through that. And yeah, but anyways, that's personal. But back to your question, of what do I do to bring that into it? It's minting different collections, finding different ways to make $100 into $1,000 without stressing about making $1,000 trading. And as I said, I scalp. So I'll take probably 30 to 40 trades on US30, but I'll have maybe 2 or 3 markups for the day. And that's kind of just what I'll ride the trends. And I only use Fibonacci's. I don't use anything else. So everything's geometry, everything's number. If you guys see my tattoo, like everything in this life and in this world and even in this room is synchronized together. So it's just impressive, to get that pulse on people. And like I said, from a place of $100 and then investing into somebody and into a community that I actually believe in, you'll actually get your return. So it's wild how we give energy and then how we receive it back. And sometimes it just happens to be financially.
That's awesome. All right, now look. Are there any projects that you currently have your eye on?
Yes.
That you could share with the crowd today?
If you have a Twitter, go look up Trippy Apes right now. So Trippy Apes.
Do you own this project?
No, I don't own the project. Not shilling it.
Okay, just want to make sure.
There's a Trippy Apes club coming out on the Solana blockchain. Whitelist is already full, but I want you guys to observe it. Even if you're not able to get in, I just want you to observe what is about to happen. So this project's about to mint out for probably 2 or 3 SOL. That's only $200 or $300 right now. It's probably going to hit 100,000 in maybe the next week of it launching. And I think there are Twitters at 500K, and I've seen them organically grow. And so let me talk about whitelisting as well.
Please, please.
Whitelisting is, so if you're in my community, I have basically enough clout to say, hey, my holders actually are going to be a part of somebody else's community and also be a holder. And that's valuable to other people because you're not selling your assets right away. So people will actually come to me saying, hey, can your community come help mint out my collection? And they'll give you at a lower entry price to just hold instead of dumping your bag as soon as it mints. So when, like I said, people flip NFTs, like that happens all the time. People will get on the hype train and then you get stuck on the wrong side of it for those who aren't educated. On some of these projects like those that have longevity, like you're holding it. And to get privilege into that whitelist and be a part of that community is what matters. So whitelisting is, basically the best entry opportunity for any collection. If you don't have whitelisting, then you get hit with the public mint, and that's usually double the price of the whitelisting mint. And then after that, if you didn't mint out the collection, it hits the marketplace. So then it's even double that. So think about just like the process of where those hit and then how it scales after that. So if you have the best entry possible, the sniper entry as a whitelist, you have literally the opportunity to flip it right away.
All right, so how do individuals get on the whitelist? Because there's been a lot of projects I tried to get into, and I couldn't mint it on time because they were sold out, basically. And how does somebody get on a whitelist to be able to mint these things early or for a lower price?
You got to be inside the community, and you have to be inside of somebody that matters in the space. So like I said, Ethereum has their own ecosystem, but they're starting to merge over because of the gas fees, because of what's happening with the open seas or the open land, whatever the Bored Apes just did with the $300 million gas fees. And I was talking to somebody, and they lost basically $40,000 on just gas fees, and then the floor tanked the next day, and they lost like 100K in a matter of a week. Like think about how long it took them to do that. that's not happening really on the Solana blockchain because it's not meant for people who have 100K. Like, if you have 100K and you come to the Solana blockchain right now, like, bro, you're gonna be good. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's investors, like I saw Shaq is now here, Ice Cube's here. Gary Vee just bought actually an OK Bear, so he bought in at 14 Sol, and I think he's probably still holding it. But it's just opportunities that are going to present itself, and I go back to the emotion, right? So people are looking for the next thing, and if the eyes and the attention are going there, yes, it's temporary, but it's there, and there's opportunity everywhere. So yeah, I don't know if that answers, but
that answered the question for sure. Kind of moving on to, this is kind of the last thing I wanted to ask you. Is you can put yourself in people's shoes pretty easily. Mm-hmm. Could you give some advice to folks on what they should really be doing after they leave this conference to be able to get to the same place? Austin, how long have you been in the NFT space?
I started actually in December, so it's only been like 6 or 7 months.
This is not like 2013, 2015. He magically got in early and we can't do this. Since December of last year, this individual committed himself to learning more about the space. How many people have heard about NFTs before today? How many people have actually gone through and talked to the developers and actually done that back-end research? Right, so that is the main difference between somebody who knows about this space and somebody who is actually committing themselves to being at that next level. So what advice could you give to folks on what they should be focused on after this event to make the most out of their progress?
Yeah, like I'm honestly not here to shill myself, but it takes finding somebody like myself to then guide you through the process. And that's like what I could say is you have to find somebody that's got experience. So just like traders, like you got to blow accounts in order to make money, right? So like I'm hoping none of you guys go mint out these projects that aren't worth shit and you just throw your money down the toilet. Go find a mentor in the space that has some type of experience in it, and that will help guide you. So if you're not directly communicating with me, be in my community, because that's the only place that I hang out. Like, I don't check my messages anymore. Like, I don't call anybody except my family. Like, I open Discord, I open up, I'm sending chats to chart addicts, and
we're good. We're all right.
Doing all that stuff. So it's like, my time and energy is only thing that I have, and all of us only have 24 hours. So it's like I want to give to people that are invested in me. So that's the thing. Inside my community, like, I've now attracted my tribe. So anybody in my community also resonates with my vibration. And if you resonate with me, like, you're going to resonate and find other friends inside of there. And they're going to be able to help you. They're going to be able to walk you through the process. So I don't have to do everything. And that's what a CEO does, right? You didn't run the whole show. I was here helping you, running all this stuff. And like, yo, shout out to the team. Yo, where's the team at, man? Shout out to the fucking team. Shout out to the team, bro. Yo, this was the first convention that that's the first convention that ChartX has hosted. It's the first convention that a lot of people have ran. Like, we adapted, we changed, and like, that's also the stuff of like, these are the people inside these communities that are being created. Like, they've experienced stuff. They're here to help. Like, they know how to function between each other and how to support each other. So just get into the space, get active, start learning, start engaging. Make a calculated risk investment and just sit there for a little while. Just learn, So instead of a demo account, join one community and just observe, just listen, ask questions. It's the same learning process that everybody goes through. So like I said, I'm a trader, and now I don't have to make $1,000 trading. I only got to make 100, and then I just turn it to 1,000 in NFTs. And it's a lot less stressful than taking, a long on UJ or whatever to try and make.
All right, that's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to Austin Collins. Can we get 3 chairs?